stack Wednesday. Oh, we made it through another week, which is pretty amazing because it's February 4th. Sunday was the 1st. Since Sunday morning, we've had 7 X-class flares and at last count 51 total solar flares. 51 in 4 days. So if you've been feeling off, anxious, tingly, super tired or super energized or both, pains in your body where there weren't pains before, heart palpitations, like dizziness, basically out of your norm, you're not alone. And I've talked to a few people and they're like, oh, I'm going to go to the doctor. And it's like, no, the doctor isn't going to tell you squat because they don't follow the moon and the sun. The sun is sending us all this plasma energy. You are a battery, so you're going to feel it. What's the best things that you can do? Ground yourself. There's so many amazing, fun, good feeling ways to ground yourself. Be outside, hug a tree, go for a walk, go barefoot if you can. I don't like being barefoot in the snow, so that's not an option for me. I have a thing of sand that I can stand in my home. Playground sand and a little tote big enough for both your feet. Perfect. If you don't like sand, use soil, maybe grow some grass in it. Stand in that. Animals know. They know to ground themselves outside. Other ways, tones with singing bowls, tuning forks, some kind of frequency. Foods that come from the ground. Peanuts come from the ground as opposed to almonds, which are up on the trees, which is more airy. Peanuts are grounding. Root vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, kohlrabi, turnips, beets, any of those vegetables that come from under the ground, the root vegetables, very grounding. If you don't like those kind of vegetables, at least get something that's close to the ground, like broccoli or cabbage, something that's close to the ground. Corn is way high up, plus it's not that healthy for you anyway. It's good for cows. But things that are close to the ground. Carrots. For meats, beef is much more grounding than chicken or fish. Fish swim. Chicken have wings. They're airy and watery. Beef, very grounding. So have a burger, have a steak, have some barbecue ribs, have some brisket. If you have any extra brisket, I love brisket. Bacon, pork products, again, a big, heavy animal on the ground. Doing things that ground you. For example, if sewing grounds you, do that. If reading grounds you, then do that. Welding, if that grounds you, then do that. But we have to be doing these things to make sure that we are grounded, because if you have a battery that's not grounded, it's not good. You're going to be like this. That's kind of how I was on Sunday. We had 4 X flares on Sunday, and one of them was an 8.1. That's huge. Huge. I was literally pacing back and forth, and I was like, okay, I got to do something. Breathe. Deep breathing also helps. So any of these things that helps you be grounded and calm, do that. Oh, don't forget, taking a bath. That's what I actually did on Sunday to help me come down. I just went and soaked in a long hot tub. It helped immensely. So, welcome to Pick a Stack. If you're new to Pick a Stack, this is what we do here. I offer my little tidbits, and they come from out there. They are actually not coming from me. They're coming from out there. What do you guys need to know? That's what I always ask before I start. What do these people need to know? That's what we start with. Then next, we've got 3 stacks. Today, they are all oracle decks. I'm not going to show you the decks because I want you to use your intuition. So think of your idea, issue, or question pertaining to yourself, your loved ones, or the world, and then choose a stack, 1, 2, or 3, or 1 and 2, 1 and 3, or all 3 stacks, okay? You make up the rules, not me. I go with the flow. I've never liked rules. Kind of rebellious that way. So I will do a reading on each stack. And today, each stack also has a crystal or something, because one of them is not a crystal or a stone. So each one's going to tell a story, and hopefully it resonates with you. And, you know, I highly encourage you to listen to the whole thing, because you never know. You might glean something from stack 3 or in between a stack, because I do tend to ramble. And again, I'm channeling from out there. Creator, what does everybody need to know? And everybody means the people that are watching this, not everybody in the world. Because these messages aren't for everybody. They're just for the select few that pay attention to my videos. So you're special. Yay, you. By the way, today's crystal singing bowl is an F. That is heart chakra. My guide said, yeah, we need a lot of heart. That's why I'm wearing pink. It's all about the heart. We have to live from the heart because there's so much craziness out there. And I choose not to participate in it. And guess what? My life is so much better. Your life gets so much better when you don't get sucked down into that ugly swamp that's out there. But you have to keep in mind, you have to remember that ugly swamp out there is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Everything is being revealed. It's the muck that's at the bottom of the cauldron of the world, and it's all being stirred up so the muck can rise to the top, so you get to see what kind of world we've actually been living in. Because the world we've been living in is all a lie, and it's not run by the people we think it's run by, and there's really bad things going on out there, and they've been going on for a long, long, long time. So we came here intentionally to either help bring those things to the surface or to help the people that are left after all the crap rises to the surface. All right, having said all that, let's get started. If you chose stack number 1, you are going to get a reading from Wing, Hoof, and Paw. This one really cried out to me. It's like the inner child needs some attention. Okay. Think about the world out there. Our inner children really, really need to be heard. But first, let's talk about your stone. Your stone is shungite, and I actually have 2 forms. I made these really cool shungite coasters. See if you can see it. There we go. So there's a tree on it, and this one also has copper in it. So it's shungite and copper. Very grounding. I usually put my cup on that, so that shungite energy and the copper is a conductor, the shungite, which that's what this is, shungite is grounding. It is for electromagnetic frequencies like fluorescent lights, LED lights, computers, TVs, cell phones, EMF energy. It can also be used for EMPs, which is an electromagnetic pulse. So, do you want one of these somewhere near your person? Absolutely. Even if it's just a small tumble. Like I have a Berkey water filter, and I filter all my water. There's shungite in mine. I just have some tumbles in there. I also have copper in there too. So when you're filtering your water, remember, you're in charge. You get to put whatever you want with intention into your system. So mine also has shungite and copper. And I used to put the shungite in my, so when I would drink out of a mason jar, I would put it in the bottom of the mason jar. Problem is when you tip it, it hits your teeth. And that brought me, like, it totally triggered me back to the trauma of high school of breaking my front teeth. I had nightmares on that for years. So I was like, nope, not going to happen. So now they're in my Berkey water filter. But you can put these, in your water and then take it out and drink it if you want. So shungite is absolutely amazing. This shungite comes from Russia. They have whole rooms of shungite where you can go and sit. I would love to do that. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine the energy. So shungite, grounding, good for EMF. When you are grounded and you're not taking in all that EMF energy, you can be as a child, just like it says in the Bible. Be as a child. Be fun. Have fun. Be innocent. Oh, kind of like this little guy right here. Can you see him? He just snuggled right up to me. Oh, he's the best boyfriend I've ever had. My little sweetie pie. Okay, so to all my spirit guides from the light and my children who live in the light, what do our people need to know in stack number 1 today? What do our people need to know? Come on. What do our people need to know? Make it fly out. This one. Remember how I said be as a child? First of all, this is card number 44. So we get double fours. That's angels are watching over us. And we get the card of the dolphin. The dolphin is joyous and plays. I mean, we've had all these people that are on dolphin expeditions or whatever you want to call them. And they're like, look at the dolphins playing. Dolphins play with humans. Dolphins play with dolphins. Dolphins will play with other sea creatures. They're fun. Dolphins also come from the Sirius constellation or star system. Excuse me, not constellation, star system. The Sirius star system. They've already ascended. And if you've ever seen the movie Cocoon, remember back in the day, it's a Ron Howard movie. Who was guarding all those cocoons in the ocean? It was the dolphins. And they were communicating with the ETs that came back to get those cocoons. 44. Ooh, is that the last card? Okay, this is also the last card of this deck. So whenever we get the first card or the last card, that also has meaning. The last card is a completion. So it's like complete your tasks so you can play. Follow your bliss. You deserve joy, happiness, and pleasure. You don't have to earn it. It is a birthright. Whether lighthearted and playful or deep and powerful, bliss is for you. It doesn't matter the form. All pleasures are yours by right. Dolphins are one of the few species that prioritize play. When you experience pleasure, the kind that opens you up to radiance, you are moving toward your highest self. Whether it's making art, relaxing in nature, picking out a new pair of shoes, or treating yourself to a cookie or chocolate. Pleasure expands your well-being, health, and mental clarity. Dolphin says we've spent much of our lives learning from pain. What if pleasure becomes our next teacher? Right? We spend our whole lives working our butts off and doing what's expected of us or doing what we need to do to earn money or time or whatever. You know, I used to work in the corporate field and I worked like up to 90 hours a week. I'd get Sunday off and I was so exhausted I couldn't do anything, so how can I spend joyous time with my child? You can't. All you want to do is sleep. Dolphin dares you to put pleasure on the priority calendar, devoting a portion of your day or week to it to discover what it can teach you. Be as a child. I love that. We have to make time to play, whatever that means to you. What does that mean to you? It's getting warmer out. I actually want to go for walks. I saw somebody I know this morning and she was taking her dog for a walk and I'm like, ooh. The problem is Angus can't be outside very long because, the snow and the ice is still out on the sidewalks and his little feet get cold and he's not going to wear shoes or boots. No, he does not wear clothes. He does not wear a bandana. And he has made that abundantly clear to me. So, if I want to carry him for the walk, maybe. Inside my jacket where he's warm. Yeah. Anyway, be as a child. Find your fun. Let that 5-year-old version of yourself out. Let her or him play. Okay? There's enough of that other crap out there. So we got to find our child inside of ourselves and make sure that they're getting enough playtime. I knew that was going to be a good deck. So now it's got me thinking, what can I do to play? Tell you one thing, a friend of mine is going to the Renaissance Festival with me this year. And I'm going to make sure she is dressed up. So that means hitting some thrift stores, finding some cool stuff so we can do layers and turn her into the green witch that we all know she is. You know who I'm talking about. Okay. Ready for stack number 2? Stack number 2. You're going to get a reading from the Lyrans. That is the lion-hearted people beings from out there. Lyra doesn't exist anymore, and they actually had to leave because their planet blew up. A lot of them went to the Sirius star system. Interestingly, I already mentioned Sirius with the dolphins. Now we've got the Lyrans that are also in the Sirian system. So, But first, let's talk about your non-crystal. So, your non-crystal is copper. Copper is an excellent conductor. This is why in days past they used copper for so many different things. They used it for healing. They used it for pipes to move water. My house is 135 years old, 136 now. She has copper pipes. And my HVAC guys and plumbing guys are all like, yeah, you should probably replace all the copper pipes because they can get pinholes, which I already know because I've already had 2 pinholes in the last couple of years, which sprayed water in the basement. So they want me to go to the plastic. And I'm like, no. Copper is healing. When that water goes through the copper pipes, it's actually bringing good energy to me and to anybody else that's either bathing in that water or drinking that water. Copper is amazing for our physical bodies, not just in the pipes, but also in jewelry that we wear. So a lot of people will wear copper bracelets if you have arthritis. It's a conductor. It helps your circulation. There's things out there like copper sheets. I actually have a copper sheet. not metal copper, but it's a sheet made with copper fibers, a sheet like on your bed. Yes, they have copper sheets. They have copper fabric. They have copper, all different kinds of jewelry. Copper wire can be used for so many things. So if you're having problems with your circulation, think about adding some copper to your life. There's also things like, you've heard of like silver, colloidal silver. It's a liquid. They have the same thing with copper. And I've taken that. I've gone out and I did some research and I found it's like got the properties of copper, but it just tastes like water. But that way you're taking copper into your body. There's foods that are high in copper. I highly encourage you to do some research on that and take in some foods that have some copper. Copper is very, very health giving. It's healthy, but it helps give us healthier bodies. So if you feel drawn to having more copper in your life, I highly recommend it because it is a really good conductor. So, like I said before, we are going to talk to the Lyrans. So I'm asking the Lyrans to come. And what message do you have for us? You're a little copper lion, aren't you? Angus was a lion in another lifetime. And he is copper colored, so we have a copper lion right there. Yeah, just my baby. You're such a good boy. We just need it to be a little bit warmer outside so we can go for a walk. Because we don't want your little footies to get cold. Card number 36, 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 is a completion. So whatever you were asking about, there's a finality to it. Something's going to be done. Something's coming to an end, whether it's a relationship, a job. It has to come to an end so something new and better can come into its place. This is the card of intensity. And I know I'm dating myself, but whenever I see this card, I think of a certain album called Intensity in 10 Cities. Way back in the day. We're not going to go there. Perception shift to alchemize your situation. Perception shift. All right. So, intensity. In our collectives, one trait that we tend to share is that we have a great amount of intensity in our body language through the passionate fire within. Rather than judge this inner fire, we have learned over the course of time to see this fire as a great gift which can be utilized to fuel all of our higher thought forms. The Lyran family is guiding you to connect with your inner fire and use it as fuel to carry you forward in your earth walk. These inner fires could be anger, resentment, hurt, feelings of neglect, betrayal, or the opposite polarity in high passion, sexuality, and determination. Whatever fire aspect is arising in this moment, this card is guiding you to utilize this fiery element and see it as an opportunity in disguise, for everything is fuel to the awakened soul. Interestingly, on February 17th, which is right around the corner, we have the new Chinese year starting, and it's the year of the fire horse. This is a 1 year, if you add up the numbers, it's a fire horse year. There's passion, there's movement. I mean, a fire horse, this is like the knight of fire, or the Knight of Wands. And that means get her done. Stuff's going to happen, stuff's going to move, and it's not going to be slow. It's going to be fast. We've already had 51 solar flares in 4 days. If you don't believe stuff's happening, just go by your gut feeling or your heart feeling or whatever feelings are doing this. Because mine's been my guts too. Like, they feel unsettled and they want me to eat. I've already gained a bunch of weight. It's like, oh man, that's okay. It's going to get warm out and I can go for walks. So this card is reminding us that we need to use that fire. We have two pages stuck together. We need to use that fire to fuel our lives, to be done with the chapter that we're in right now and to start the new chapter. And to do this with gusto, to do this with intention, to do this with joy. Yay, this last chapter is done and a new chapter is starting, and I don't know what that means, but I am going to be joyful. And look at this. Rawr! This is all about finding a way to do things. What is it that you would love more than anything to do? That's what this time is. Focus on that. Yesterday, I spent part of my day looking at little scooters for sale online because I do want to have a scooter. I'm going to trade in my big ass Harley and I want to get a little scooter and I want to strap that bad boy to an RV and I want to go travel and I want to have my little scooter so I can go into town and get some groceries, or go to the hot springs or go to the spa or go to the gym or whatever without moving my big rig. Well, kind of big rig. And so spending a little bit of time looking at all the different things that are out there. It's like, oh, I like this about this one. I don't like this about this one. I like this. That puts the fire in, it like starts the fire going like, ooh, I'm starting to get excited. Yay. And then looking at different campgrounds gets you excited. This is what we need to be doing. Whatever that thing is that you want to do, start doing those little things that get you excited for that big thing. Okay? And that's what the Lyrans want us to do. Again, it's like, be as a child. You don't have to plan it. You just have to get excited for it. Cool. Intensity. Thank you, Ted Nugent. That was stack number 2. Let's move on to stack number 3, where we're going to get a little conversation with the Lemurians from Beyond Lemuria. That is Izzy Ivy. And we will talk about your stone. Today is all about grounding. This is a candle holder, but it's also a chunk of black tourmaline. It's a chunk of black tourmaline. I just stuck a black candle in it. What's black tourmaline good for? Let's see. Grounding. It helps with TVs, cell phones, computers, fluorescent lights, LED lights, all that stuff, electromagnetic field stuff that's not good for our bodies. So if our bodies are batteries, all those things suck the energy out of us. Black tourmaline helps with that. And remember, shungite helps with that too. It's grounding. It's good for that low frequency, nasty, yucky energy that seems to be permeating everywhere. So having a piece of black tourmaline or shungite or hematite or obsidian or onyx can be very helpful. There's like one hair right in my eye. Ooh, that was kind of cool. That one like jumped up. Not out, but up. All of a sudden, I feel really hot. Like burning up hot. I don't get hot flashes. Okay, so that's not what this is. Either is it you guys? Whew. It's the Lemurians. It's not somebody out there. That's somebody here. Thank you for showing up. Woo. Anyway, we have lucky number 7. Card number 7. Throat chakra. With a blue butterfly, a Merkaba, and pink wings. Express your truth. This chakra is the origin of expression. It is the source of the life spark that inspires our aliveness and stokes the creative fires in others. Fire. This is the outer sharing of our inner being, the glowing song of our soul, on the winds of our flight to understanding more of who we are. Connect to the crux of your potential and take it further than you could have imagined. As spirit fuses into the tangible, it actualizes as a platform for greater experience, and new facets are sculpted, seeded, and shared as a fractal of light in the form of our own unique language. Be truthful with yourself about how you are really feeling. That is huge because most people do not share their true feelings, sometimes even with themselves. If you always act in integrity and follow your heart-centered truth, some unhealthy connections or aspects of your life may fall away, and you will be in complete alignment with your path. We have to acknowledge those things that are not for our highest and greatest good. That means past traumas and pains. That means people. And we actually need all these things to fall away so that we can be who we truly are or who we're supposed to be. Your internal/psychic navigation system will become strengthened. Your purpose will be clearer, and you will inspire others through the sparkle of your deep inner knowing. We need these things to fall away so we can sparkle and shine. Yes. Yes, that's family members and friends. I have several people. My circle is really, really small. And I have a couple people right now that I'm like, I don't see you in my circle much longer. You're literally falling away. It makes me sad, but you know what? Every relationship has an expiration date. Every relationship. Sometimes it's 3 minutes and sometimes it's 85 years. But it still has an expiration date on it. Sometimes it's soul family. They come in for a certain period of time in our lives, or we come into theirs for a certain period of time. And sometimes it's not soul family. Sometimes I'm not going to say make mistakes because there are no mistakes, but sometimes we choose incorrectly. I know, I've been married twice. You have not chosen wisely. Anyway, every relationship has an expiration date. That can be a relationship with another human. That can be a relationship with a job, a home, a bicycle, a pet, something or someone. I don't know if you heard that, but like the building just made a loud noise. So one of my guides is like, yeah, see, listen to her. If someone or something is falling away from you, pay attention to that and just release it. Say, you know what? Thank you for being my friend. Even if it's a house, okay, or a job. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for helping me get to this point in time. I appreciate you so much, and I send you love and best wishes for your next endeavor. And I send best wishes to myself for my next endeavor. Whatever that is. Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't. But this is telling us we have to sing our song. Yes, we have to speak our truth, but we also have to sing our song. We each have our own song. And that song is like, what am I going to do with the next chapter of my life? Maybe you're in it and maybe you're not. Maybe my house is in it and maybe it's not. Maybe my car is in it, maybe it's not. Who knows? I don't know. My higher self knows. And I have faith in my higher self that my higher self will not steer me wrong. So that is step number 3. Faith is huge, especially these days. I hope you have some. That made me dizzy. Let's do that again. I love you guys. You're the reason I do this. And I am sending you blessings of love, light, peace, joy, happiness, success, divine health, and all good things, because I know you're worthy and I know you deserve it all. So have a blessed rest of your day. Namaste.